Dalawang linggo na lang at magsisimula na ang latest season ng UAAP Women's Volleyball. And all eyes are on the three-peat-seeking De La Salle University Lady Spikers na kahit wala na ang veteran setter na si Kim Fajardo ay title favorite pa rin ngayong taon. Which teams will challenge the Lady Spikers' dominance sa Season 80? Kasama natin ngayon ang batikang volleyball analyst na si Coach Ronnie Magsanoc. Good evening, Coach, and welcome back to the Score.
Good evening, Don.
Coach,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year din, Coach. Simulan natin sa taas. Let's talk about the back-to-back champion, De La Salle University Lady Spikers. And I think the biggest development here is yung pagkawala ni Kim Fajardo.
Yes.
Michelle Cabas already presented herself
Correct.
as the person filling in her spot. So how do you think this big change, this major development will help the Lady Spikers in their quest for a three-peat?
I think this is the biggest challenge for Coach Ramil de Jesus. But one thing going for Coach Ramil, siyam na sunod the finals appearance. So he knows how to win and he keeps the wheel rolling when we talk about the recruitment. Ang kagandahan lang for Michelle Cobb, naglaro na siya last year and she even played in the finals. So more or less, merong experience na mababaon for this season. Now whether or not it will be on the Kim Fajardo level, that remains to be seen. But siya nga asahan para iayos yung takbo ng opensa na napakarami naman bala. Si Majoy Baron, yung finals MVP na si Desiree Cheng, of course, andyan pa rin si Duke Ogonzanya, and of course si Don Macandiles, the best defensive specialist for the Lady Spikers.
So, malinaw ba, Coach, na ang Lasal ang paborito na manalo this UAAP Season 80?
Yes, because you don't only look at what happened in the previous UAAP season, but you also look at the tournaments that they joined prior to the start of Season 80. And they've won a major title bago tumulak itong pagbubukas ng UAAP season. At makikita mo, hindi sila nagpapahinga. Sila ay naghahanda, hindi lamang para to defend their crown. But I think the level that they've been in the last decade, they have won, I believe, in this decade alone, 5 of the last 7 championships. So, merong tinatarget hindi lang para sa taong ito, kundi yun yung galing ni Coach Ramil Ang haba ng planning niya, pero meron siyang mga players na naka-ready na sa transition at rebuilding.
Okay, you said 5 out of the last 7
Right.
In this past decade. Yung 5 out of the last 7, yung dalawa doon, Ateneo.
Yes.
And when we talk about Lasal, we talk about the rivals, Ateneo, na naghahanda rin. Now, late last year, may balita na lumabas about the coaching situation. May mga nagsabi na baka hindi na daw bumalik si Coach Tai, but he is still with Ateneo. How do you think that situation will affect the girls moving forward? At ang Ateneo pa rin ba, Coach, ang pinakamalaking threat sa quest ng Lasal to go for a three-peat?
Probably because of the rivalry and what we have seen in the last 4 or 5 years. Dahil sila naghaharap sa finals Now, with regards to yung kay Coach Tai Bundit, pati ako, nagulat ako na nagkaroon ng ganong klaseng gulo na mawawala si Coach Tai, maraming ugong-ugong, ilang buwan din yon. But eventually, when I think the President made the formal announcement, Father Jet Villarin, and he put his support behind Coach Tai Bundit, tapos na yung issue. I believe after that, wala na. So, I think the players know that it's going to be hard to train under him. Pero may kapalit naman I think they will realize na maski natalo sila in the last 2 years, he has been in the finals with the team in the last 4 years. So, yung batting average napakataas. Kaya lang, syempre, may rebuilding din, may transition din. Some players have gone, some players have left and moved to different schools. So, I think the leadership is something that they have to settle and really focus in para to move forward. Lalong-lalo na hindi na magbabalik si Gia Morado.
That's the biggest situation. Just like Lasal, wala na si Kim Fajardo. Sa Ateneo naman, no more Gia Morado. So it's Dina Wong and Danny Ravenna who will become the setter for Coach Tai Bundit. How do you see them transitioning as being the playmaker for the Ateneo?
I haven't seen Bunsong Ravenna play that much, but I know that yung pedigree mabigat. Winner talaga. From the parents all the way to the 2 brothers. With Dina Wong, nakita ko na siya maglaro and win for Ateneo. And I've seen her transform from a setter to a defensive specialist, back to a setter, back to a defensive specialist. But this year is supposedly her year to be the best playmaker for the Lady Eagles. Now, kung level ng Gia Morado, it remains to be seen. At, but I think experience-wise, may bala na siya. Yun lang, I think the barometer will be set by Jasmine Nabor, probably Fen M. Nas, we talk about playmaking, and of course, Kayuna, and hopefully Negrito para sa FEU Lady Tamaraws.
Okay, you mentioned the other teams. Let's talk about them for a little bit, Coach, dahil nga merong mga pagbabago in terms of the coaching staff. George Pascua,
Yes.
marami. FEU, we have George Pascua coming back replacing Coach Shaq, and then sa UP naman, a Kenyan native, si Godfrey Okumu coming
Totoo
in. So
yan.
what do you think about these changes, Coach?
I think with the Coach George Pascua taking over Coach Shaq, nakita na natin nag-adjust yung mga players dun sa collegiate conference ng Premier Volleyball League, pero they made it to the final.
Yes.
So that's a good springboard for them. At saka may emergence ni Zach Carandang as the one who will take over the shoes left by Remy Palma. So that augurs well para sa kanila. At solid yung team Chinchin Basas, of course, nandiyan pa si Bernadette Pons. So, baka ito na yung panahon nila. Baka ito na yung taon para sa one of the winningest schools sa kasaysayan ng UAAP volleyball sa women's competition. So, I think it's a wide open race. At least 6 teams will figure for the top 4 slots. And I think top of mind dyan, of course, ang FEU to challenge itong Ateneo at Lasal for the championship.
Another team to watch out for, Coach, yung team ni Coach Babes Castillo.
Oo naman, kakatakot.
Oo, kakatakot. Sila ang nanalo sa
Yes.
PVL Collegiate Conference.
So katulad ni Coach George Pascua, na siyang nakaharap ni Coach Babes Castillo, yung transition, nailipat na nila yung page. So, ang question lang dito is yung depth. I think the core is so solid. No? Saka, bimedaled at nagcha-champion. Pwera lang sa UAAP. Pero, this might also be the breakthrough season or breakout season for these young ladies. Dahil nakikita ko, iba yung approach naman ni Coach Babes. I think his players have bought into his idea of how to run the team. So, ibang pamamaraan kumpara kay Coach Roger Gorayev, pero naipanalo rin niya sa Premier Volleyball League. Ngayon, to translate that winning to the UAAP is a totally different issue. But they have been very quiet with their preseason preparation. But the biggest narrative para sa NU is Jaja Santiago coming back for her final season. Yun palang sinabi mo, as the best player, arguably, in the UAAP this coming season, I think they can ride her because she is mature enough. At saka, they've lost so many times together. I think it's high time that they win it all this coming season.
Now, let's talk about UST at may masakit na development dito.
Sobra.
Sapagkat hindi maglalaro si EJ Laure because of shoulder injury.
Sobra.
What do you think UST can do to try to stay in the Final Four hunt this year?
That will be up to the genius of Kung Fu Reyes. Of course, nandiyan pa si Cici Rondina, pero wala na rin si Alex Cabano. So, moving forward, pinakamahirap sa coach is yung pag ito yung inaasahan mo ng mga sundalo, as we call them, biglang mababawasan ka nang malapit na yung season, gagawa mo ng paraan. But of course, you look at your roster power, hoping and praying that somehow you can approximate yung husay na mawawala. May ipapalit ka naman kahit paano. You're losing not just about 15 points a game, but more than that, it's yung winning experience dahil si EJ Lare kung saan-saan na rin nanalo at marami na rin pinagdaanan. At maganda yung pagsasama nila ni Cici Rondina. Now, if you want to look at it the other way, opportunity naman para sa iba na mabigyan ng pagkakataon. Pero, EJ Lare is EJ Lare, and it's going to be a huge dent sa kanilang tangka to go back-to-back sa Final Four.
Now, Coach, one team that made waves, gumawa ng ingay sa PVL Collegiate Conference is Adamson University. Grabe yung kanilang pinakita despite having to play without Gemma Galanza, who injured her ankle. But sinabi niya that she will be back for Adamson University. Not just her, si Fen M. Nas, as you mentioned earlier. Tapos may bago silang mga recruits. Si Ellie Soyud, who transferred from LaSalle. And then, we've been mentioning the name of Kiara Permentilla, who played really well in the PVL.
Yes, totoo yan. For Coach Erpada, it's not just redemption. I think it's shooting for the stars and heading into the Final Four. This is perhaps the only team that has not won a title in the history of the UAP. So, muntik na sa panahon ni Mami Dulce Pante, But I think this year, it's going to be a failure, I'm sure, para kay Coach Erpada sa pananaw ko. Sa kanyang pananaw din, malamang, if they're not going to make it to the Final Four. Dahil malakas, kargado. I think Fen Emnas is going to be a major force para kay Coach Erpada. Ang lakas ng personality. So, si Elisoyod, mahusay. Ang ganda ng pinakita sa PBL. And I think Gemma Galanza will be very ready once the season opens to play her final year. So, okay na yung components eh. Nandiyan na rin si May Roque. And I think si Coach Erpada, mas na-embrace na niya yung culture ng mga Pilipino na dati mahiyain, hindi nagsasalita. At galing na niya mag-Tagalog eh. So, shoot na shoot siya talaga para sa Adamson Falcons.
Lastly, Coach, ang UE Red Warriors, it's the last year of Shaya Adorador, and sinabi mo nga sa akin kanina, Coach, before we went on air, na this is the time for Coach Francis to really focus on UE dahil ito na lang ang kanyang kupunan na binibigyan ng pansin at this point in time.
Si Coach Francis, marami na rin pinagdaanan para sa UE, a national coach. And also was the one who led NU to break an 18-year Final Four drought para sa Lady Bulldogs. He knows how to win. And I think this third year of his is enough for him na naitanim na yung winning attitude sa mga players niya. I think he has also given his players enough time to mature. They've lost a lot. They've won once in a season. They played better than Adamson last season. Nasa national pool si Rose Baliton. But I think yung level ni Shaya Adorador and her leadership will tell a lot kung saan sila mapupunta. And another question is, kung yung core, which is more than Adorador and Baliton, will they be playing well enough to be able to help out UE? Dahil ang mahirap sa UAAP na manalo, 8 teams lang eh. So konti lang ang laro, 7 games, 14 games total. Pag mabagal ang simula mo, hindi mo mahabol sa dulo dahil malalakas yung kalaban. The sprint in the first round, especially for a team who is known to be a slow starter, is going to be very critical. At anong kailangan matutunan ng Lady Warriors ng UE na manalo ng maaga. Hindi lang para magkakumpiyansa, kundi pagdating sa dulo, kumbaga talagang competitive ka pa rin talaga at contender ka.
Grabe, Coach Ronnie. I'm very excited for UAAP Season 80 Women's Volleyball. I'm sure it's going to be another wonderful season for us. Coach, maraming salamat for the preview of all the teams tonight.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.